So the party was at Conrad's mom's bar, and I guess we'll take a moment to introduce our players. It wasn't the same group as we always had. We kind of had a melding of groups, so to speak. We had a halfling druid named Varkan, a human ranger named Valeth, a half-orc barbarian named Dreda, a half-orc weapon master named Katak, a half-elf ranger named Ziria, and a dwarven slayer named Lidea. I went ahead and ran with the idea that they all knew each other because we had just spent 2.5 hours rolling D&D 3.5 edition characters, and I don't think we're ever going to do that again. I forgot just what it was entailed in rolling a 3.5 character. Man, they really built that one for the rules lawyers. But I know, bring the comments. No, I love 3.5. I know. Hey, enjoy what you want to enjoy, but I'm not doing it again. So they're hanging out, and I'm letting them just converse amongst themselves. And they do notice there's a job board in there, and they end calling for all able warriors to meet in front of City Hall the next morning. There was a reward, and I had literally, this was the day before I was supposed to go in for oral surgery, and I had a horrible toothache the whole night, so I didn't really run the room the way I'm used to liking to control everything, so I was kind of letting the party run a little amok, and so they were getting carried away, but yeah, they eventually did agree to go on and meet the following morning, and as they finally did leave the tavern, Conrad's mom's bar, they encounter a group of rogues. I think it might have, I kind of threw that out there as kind of a way to maybe focus and pull the group together in a more organized fashion. They seemed to work really well. They got rid of these rogues and searched the bodies. It's a lot more investigation this time. I really liked it. Maybe a bit too much because I wasn't completely prepared. This was kind of a hot seat drop-in encounter, but they absolutely did just pull together and start playing in a more organized fashion. So the following morning, they meet up at City Hall, and they're introduced to Magistrate Dawkins' clerk, this raggedy old-looking man with wild, crazy hair and just scrolls and parchment hanging out of every pocket, and very hurriedly rushes up to the steps of City Hall and almost disregarding them, greets the party and says, yes, of course, there's a problem at hand. The jailer's gone mad, and there's a reward for his logbooks. He has to be taken care of. And the party then goes on to ask, well, you said there was supposed to be a reward. What's the reward? He says, well, the reward is you get to serve your king and kingdom. And so they weren't entirely thrilled about that. And he says, well, and you can keep anything you may find along the way then. And, the typical, of course you can. Every party's always kept everything. I don't think I've ever met the party who says, and you have to give all that back. No, I don't think that's ever actually happened. But, so essentially the story played that the castle's jailer had gone mad, and I don't think the party ever truly got to the bottom of this, but then he had begun to turn the prisoners in the dungeon to undead, and that's just insanity. So of course we're not going to allow that to happen. So they are given a map as to a back entrance through the sewers to the dungeon, as the jailer Marcus had barricaded the front entrance to the jail magically, and they wouldn't be gaining entrance that way. So after this overworked clerk explains to them that, hey, gold isn't everything, he shuffles off and he disappears before the party has time to ask him any more questions.